All praises, Kimbo na nZambi from Yamazulu, King Fumo Kyakurisa, Zambi Mawesha, Zambi Okabenesha, Zambi Nene, Zambi on Kulukungu, Zambi on Zola, Zambi on Kembo, Yenge, Ibaluka, Izola. I said peace and blessings and love to all the Banabe to be solely scattered across the earth, to all of the non-Banabe to be solely that watch these ministries. We welcome you. We could Kukwisi Ambote. Tuna Mavimpi, Mona na nZambi and Pumu Tulendo. We are doing well by the grace of the Most High. Betwabu, Dumalang, Sambona, all praises. We are coming today with a message of the times that we are in. We have reached the next phase of Akongo, Mfumu Yave Kongo, Mfumu Yisu Yesue nZambi, the most Mfumu Yisu Kristu, the Mwanda Velada, the set apart spirit of the Most High. We come once again to bring a powerful message that hopefully will bring peace to those. This is not meant to bring fear or panic or any type of that. No, this is to prepare you for the times that we're in, as we now, as expected, and I knew it was coming. We are here where the adversary is pushing back. However, as in the case, we know the Most High has already defeated any and all false principalities even before the foundation. And we're coming to the separation, the complete separation of those who still believe in it, that worship a false God, versus those who worship the non-hypocritical living God. And like I said, it doesn't matter how nice a person is or what they are. You break one law, you break them all. And this was the intention of those that control and manipulate what the world is doing, is because it was never about you. It was always about them and their hidden agenda to complete the mission, to make sure that no one could challenge the position of King Herod as the king of the 12 tribes. And of course, he was an Edomite. So we're going to continue to get into that as well. And I can, just to say that, and just to say that they have said it themselves. So, Mwana Kumbase, Mwana Vamasai Setu, Luvuvamu, Yala, all praises. So, many people I've talking to a lot of people recently, not a lot, but a few. I've been in contact. Like I said, I know what's going on in Dallas. For those that don't know, there's a conference that I was made aware of. I will not be attending, but I hope if things go well, I hope people were able to do accordingly, because I understand that they're first. The Most High, as we know, when the Masindisi came to the temple of nZambi, he had to get rid of the thieves and all. He went after the thieves and those who stole. And the problem is, the world doesn't understand is that you are working for the thief of the temple. And so any and all those you may think are not working for the thief will soon manifest, because you will understand that everything is about the Most High's way and not impeding or hindering those who have a responsibility to their way, because that is the intent. Is we have way too many Judases. We have way too many people stabbing people in the back. We have way too many people that want to be about the enemy's business, but masquerading as if it's the Father's business. We have way too many shepherds feeding themselves and not the flock. And we have way too many people that took bribes from the sorcerer so that you would not be able to judge angels. And they have taught the Most High's sheep to do the same. And the world is naive to this because they have labeled religions that have nothing to do with the Most High's way. Christianity was invented by Simon the Sorcerer, which then morphed into Islam, which then also became Judaism shortly thereafter. And this is what the Yahweh, the Revelators, calls the three frogs, because we were always called the people of the way of truth. And it never changed that status. Even I showed my wife today, I happened to look at the celebration that they now call Easter, which the Most High never approved the name change. But again, I shall send along strong delusion that it so happens, and I know this is actually impossible, according to each one of the calendars that each person follows, that the Orthodox Christians, the Western Christians, and Judaism are all following on the same calendar for Passover and Easter, which people don't understand. It actually it's really weird because the New Year was really in the spring, and the Passover always took place two weeks after the New Year. And this is where I know you're being fooled, because it's upside down. The New Year was according to the Southern Hemisphere, not the Northern Hemisphere. So this is why I'm seeing now what's playing out is the coming of the false Messiah that they call Horus. Okay, so this is why I'm going to get into 2 Thessalonians. The man of sin has already been revealed. They have already built the third temple. They have already consecrated King Herod once again. They have already begun to do sacrifices in secret, because they always play this game with you. And the world does not understand that many people were turned into the scapegoat, whether they knew it or not. So now we're going to talk about what's coming here in the next year, as to what's starting this month. The big delusion, February was never the second month of the year. It was actually the 12th month. And you're off, because the Most High's months were 28. They were 13 months. Everything was even, 364 days. And the cycle was pure and clean, as you read in they call it the book of Jubilee. The 13th month was removed this is why 1582 is the biggest delusion ever. The 13th month was removed with the Gregorian calendar, when it was when it was created to mimic, or to so-called clean up the Julian calendar. But we know that the Talmudic Jews go by the Babylonian moon cycle. And that's why I told my wife, I said, this is not possible that they would all of a sudden. And this is why I tell many Christians, you are very naive, because the Most High's Passover was the same cycle every single year, every single time. His harvest festival everything was the same. It was the same cycles. It's always going to be Lucifer's kingdom that puts everything out of whack, as they call it, out of cycle, because his job is to create confusion, and the Father's job is to not have confusion. So that's why the pagans, thinking that they could be a light unto themselves, they have either purposely or unknowingly brought themselves to Horus or to Osiris. So now we're going to talk about, this is the year, as I expected, that is the Most High's fulfillment of 2 Thessalonians, where he will burn the whore, and also Revelations, where the whore will be burned with fire. I'm going to tell you who the whore is once again. And then we're going to talk about the destruction that is coded of the end of the Egyptian gods. So all praises. Let me start the music. Again, I don't own the rights to this music. It's for the edification of this channel only. And we're going to get into a really powerful teaching that the Mana has revealed. And this is how you're going to know very soon who your friends and who the foes are, and who is really working on behalf of the Most High and who isn't. Because all the Egyptian gods are actually black. So we're going to get into that, in addition to the Most High. All right, let me share my screen. Again, I don't own the rights to this music. It's for educational purposes only, for the edification of the channel, and not for redistribution for any resale of any kind. Hallelujah. Yapeta and Semu and Kami were all melanated. You don't want to believe me, that's going to be your choice. That the non-melanated people are actually the curse and the melanated people are the blessing. All right, Kimball. After the nZambi. Just happened. I don't know what this thing just did. I hate when it does that. All praises. So I'm going to tell you today, as we're going to read the scriptures, where you get the word acclimate or climate, or what they want to call climate change or anything. The biggest misconception that you have been taught by many pastors and many priests and many doctrines is that Kaina and Abele are twins, when they are actually, Kaina is older than Abele, because Kaina or Cain was born with a twin sister, and her name is Aklima, which is where you get acclimate or climate. Okay, it's not. I'm not reading on anything. It's on the thing here. I'm actually pulling it up on Google. You can just put twin sister Cain and it'll pop up. It says, according to some of the Cain's twin sister was Aklima, the firstborn daughter of Adama and Mama Ava. That's actually technical, and so technically, Aklima and Kaina were born out of the mess up between Lucifer and Mama Ava. Now, she was given the name of her mother Awa because she had, and they said she was more beautiful than her. So you know that she was a very attractive woman. And that's why Kaina or Cain is upset about that. If you want to know where people talk about pedophiles, or they talk about this whole concept of what do you call it? What is it when you call the name when you marry your sister? Incest. This is where you get the whole thing about incest and these type of things from, because in the missing text, when Adama So, because I'm gonna give you the twin. This is the one they want to call Alice, because this is what happened. I'm gonna give you the twin sister of Abel. Okay. This is wrong. Aklima was given to Abele. Is Kabil, I think. No. Why did they always do this? Let me see if I can pull it up in the Legend of the Jews. I think her name is there. I could be wrong because they're not letting me find it. But it's the one they want to call Alice because he did not want her when Kaina, when they were switched. That's why they play games with her and they do her dirty. And of course, the dog that you don't understand that was the Most High gave to Kaina was used she was a chew toy. And that's one of the reasons why in Seta, when Kaibeli died, did not want to take Aklima as his wife, because he figured that Cain was going to do the same thing to him, like what happened to Abele, that he would try to kill him because of the fact that he was upset because he was the same kindred spirit because of what happened with Mama Ava when she took the fruit. Because that's why your godfather and godmother concepts comes from the fact that when nZambi kicked Cain out and separated him, that Lucifer became his father, and the witch Lily became his mother, and because of that, of what happened, and so this is where the churches actually, or people say, "You are my godmother, you are my godfather," is actually wicked. Okay, and so people are going to find out, or you say you have godparents. This is all Egyptian, Babylonian, Canaanite-based practices that will soon manifest as something that was actually meant to be bad. It means that you are adopting a false spirit. And see, through the secret societies, they know this. So they've tricked you. This is how you become a hypocrite, because you are actually spitting out the Most High and his kingdom and his feminine energy. So you're taking in the wrong divine feminine and you're taking the wrong divine masculine. And this is what makes you become confused, and you become a robot and you become controlled, because your mind will now turn into mad cow disease and you will become Looney Tunes, just like they did in the cartoons, where you are not functioning and everybody is now having mental disorders. And this is why in the medical world, and I talked to a doctor, he said, we're not taught many things. It's like, yeah, because everybody has a mental condition when you think that the God of Abele is good, is bad, and the God of Cain is good. And that's how the construct of the matrix begins, or the false reality, because the strong delusion comes from the Most High himself. And so if you're not meant to know, then you're going to call the people who know crazy, stupid, wicked, you're going to hell, condemnation mentality, when the Most High is about pity. So then you're taught to be a Pharisee, Sadducee, scribe, and hypocrite. And then why you can't talk to anybody is because of pride. So then pride makes them puffed up. And this is why the Most High says, well, then I can't use you. If you become prideful, the Most High can't use you. So now you're doing it yourself. And this is why nZambi says humility is what makes you usable for his kingdom. Pride is what makes you usable for the fallen angels' kingdom. And that's why now, as we get into it, this is why you can't tell anybody anything that think they know it all, because you're conditioned in the world. It was designed that way. So the world was designed on pride. When it comes to, when it says in Yola, when the Most High gave the world to the hands of the wicked, okay, the wicked operate on pride. The Most High's kingdom operates on humility. So this is the reason why the Banabetu of Isolele fell apart, and we've now lost over, I said like 200 some thousand generations of our stars to the imposter, because we are prideful. And this is what, when the real Messiah was teaching us, he said, pride is what kills you. This is when it says the wages of sin and death starts with pride. Okay, so now you have a world teaching you to be prideful instead of being humble. But then when you go into churches, they talk about humility, but then the pastor works for the prideful God. So he's a hypocrite. And this is what the Messiah is saying is, the Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, and hypocrites, they're going to teach you one way, but they're going to behave another. So they're going to behave with pride and not humility. So that's when you're going to be constantly believing something that's not true. For example, that the Most High goes by pagan calendars. No way. He's not a hypocrite. Okay? So because Esau does not want the heathens, to those who were made by the Egyptian gods, to receive what he could not have, this is why he's tricking everybody, because he felt gypped. And that's technically where the word gypsy really came from, is because Esau felt gypped in the fact that he lost his inheritance. The same way with all the other bastards. Lucifer felt like, it starts with Lucifer. He felt that he was gypped, that the Most High I cannot find. So Lucia comes from the name of Cain's twin sister. So now when you talk about Lucia dos Santos, who was the one that did the third secret of Fatima in Portugal, and it's funny because, you know, my wife's mother's middle name was Lucia. This is actually Cain's daughter, but the Most High sister, but the Most High used this shepherd to expose what the Catholic Church covered up even today. That's why the Pope will not. That's why when they made the remake of the movie, The Third Secret of Fatima, they wanted to reiterate that because what happened to Cain's sister, or to many of these people, is they bleached their skin. They turned white because they stood in solidarity with Cain's curse. This is where you get skin bleaching from, straightening your hair, turning your hair blonde. So, you know, that's why I'm going to tell you the reason why they make fun of blondes is because of Alice. Okay? Stupid blonde, because Alice was, like I said, she was Abele's wife, sister. They didn't like her, and they forced her to be in solidarity with Cain's curse. And so her hair was turned blonde, her skin was bleached, and this is why you get this spirit of people wanting to look this image, and it's not something that's meant to actually degrade the white race per se, but it's to show you that this is what the fallen kingdom wants you to aspire to look like, the curse. And that's why you cannot tell these people that, because they'll say there's no way we all come from the Most High, when the Most High don't have blonde hair. he don't have blonde. His skin is not pale. That's why the Native Americans said pale face, because they said these people look like they're dead. I mean, y'all don't know. They covered up the history. When Native Americans saw white people, they're like, are these people ghosts or what? Are they dead? They used to think that. They said, are these people ghosts? You know, but they came in cycles sometimes. And because they don't remember, because of the mind wipes, that they've been here more than once. Okay. That complexion of skin was here and before the flood, and it was here after, but it was constituted through the curse of leprosy, which is why they coded it in Exodus 1:30 Wamosi, where he said he put his hands in his tunic and out came his hands that were white as snow. But of course, the hypocrites who they themselves are leprous, are calling the white people. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. So the Ashkenazi Jews, or what we call the Sephardic Jews, or whatever you want to call these people, they're looking at the white people and say, we can't stand you lepers. Well, go look in the mirror. They're not doing that. That's what the Messiah says. That's the hypocrisy of a hypocrite. They see you, but they don't see themselves, right? So technically, they shouldn't be in the temple either because they are lepers. Okay, so this is the reason why people are being deceived, because it's like, wait a minute, but then if they're following the law like that, then they shouldn't be preaching either because they are lepers. Okay, so and then at the same time, they are actually the Edomites. Okay, now they're not going to say that to you, but actually they did admit it. They said we are the Edomites, but they won't say it in public. But they'll come out and scapegoat somebody to tell you that. And they've done this several times. You know, this is one of the guys said, yeah, we know, but we don't tell you that. Okay. But the reality is, so when you say that somebody is anti-Semitic, what you're saying is you're anti-Nsemu, which is the son of the son of Hanoka, who was given the priesthood to teach that was against Kami. And then, of course, Yapeta's people were then rejected because of what they did with Gogo and Magogo. Gogo just means old mother or grandchild in our language. Of course, they don't teach you that because that was a Bantu word. Okay? Gogo and Magogo means many old mothers. Okay? So the Magogo at the time were the ally of the Most High, and Gogo was his enemy. So in Kaina's world, they're going to always flip it. Okay? Oh, Gogo is the ally of the Most High, and Magogo is the enemy of the Most High. Okay? So, but the problem is neither one can be a light unto themselves. It doesn't matter, you know, the whole system is the bloodline of Jacobi or Jacob must be the light unto the Gentiles. But what Esau has done is he said, you Gentiles can be the light unto yourselves. No, you cannot, because the Gentiles or the pagans or all the other 70 tribes that rejected the Most High at the Tower of Babel, okay, when the Most High consecrated Abana, Abraham is really a Nimrod, okay? Abana, it was Abba for father, Abana, father of many's. So it was Abana, and he was consecrated as the patriarch of the keeper of the temple, which is the church, that nZambi made the promise with, that he would fulfill what was told to the father of the first man, that he would come with the Nsemu or Nsema, which means light, okay, or Noka, which is because we had different words for light, or Noka, that this would be the light unto the world. Now, what they have done is they have made you say the light of the world comes to the Messiah of Esau. So the Messiah of Esau was not really an Edomite, he was a Hamite. Because Tammuz and Nimrod come through Kusi or Kami or Ham. Okay? So here's where you got to be careful with people who are not being honest about what their bloodline is. Because this is why they don't want to say, they don't want to say the Egyptians were black. Because if the Egyptians are not black, then the 12 tribes, if the Egyptians are black, then so are the 12 tribes. Okay? Because we blended in with them. And they know it. Okay? So, like I said, because the children of Ashkenaz or Gomer and Tagarma, because I'm telling you people, Ashkenaz was a brown-skinned man. He was about the complexion of, I'll say, I want to say the one actor that many people may know about. What's his name? Billy D. Williams. Okay, so Ashkenaz was about the complexion of Billy D. Williams. Okay, which is similar to the complexion of what the real Messiah was, like Billy D. Williams. Okay, so what's funny is, and it's kind of weird because I learned a little bit of even though it was sealed, my mom kind of cheated. I have a tie to the Williams plantation at some point through the adoption. But it's funny because through my adoption, which I now discovered that they call this the River Nile for those who are still the straw man mentality, they're not going to tell you that. But the River Nile is really the adoption, and that's worldwide, by the way. That's not just in America. As an Egyptian, when you go from one parent to the next, it's like floating you down the river, like Massa, who had to go to the Pharaoh's house. Okay, so you're changing your natural birth parents because the people who run the world, they know that everybody really is an Egyptian. It doesn't matter if you're Asian, white. That's why I said color doesn't matter. It's black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever you are in the system of the fallen ones. You are a Kemet, you are a Hamitic, you are a Canaanite. Okay, because the Canaanite were called Anansi, or the bottom, which is where if you go look at the Kikongo, this is where they put it together. This is why the name Nancy means means that you are less. This is what he means when he called the Canaanites the dogs. So when you go and you say bottom and you translate it into the Kikongo, it says nsi, na'an. So when we run our words together, nansi, it's like they ran together like, it was nansi. So the which many people don't know, the which is the beginning of the one that he is ever, forever, the comes from that. So it was nansi. So the Most High put you on the bottom. Okay. So the Canaanites, they knew they were called Nancy. They say it weird now. So the name Nancy that was passed down through generations of Europeans and that is the Canaanite word for dog. Okay, so this is how Esau knows he's Nancy or Anansi. So then the flipping goes where if Yakubi is on top, he's Muntu. Okay, that's where we got the word Untu or Muntu, which means the head. Okay, if we went to the bottom and we went into a captivity, we were called Nansi. So it was a flipping of the different beliefs. So the Bakongo, this is why the world doesn't know us anymore, because after the Spanish Inquisition and Portuguese Inquisition, and when Rome declared that they will be the authoritative religion of all people, the Banabetu of Isolde of the kingdom of Congo de Intotala, at that time, the kings of that realm, the Most High did not recognize the Pope. It's a lie. He recognized those people. That's why the fallen angels know they had to cover up this history, because that kingdom was on top. Okay? The Muslims were not on top, even as the Moors who were ruling in Europe. No, they were just in control. But that doesn't mean the Most High saw them. He saw the Muslims no different than he saw the pagans, because what had been done, yes, Ishmael will be a wild ass of himself, which is what the ass god or the donkey is Baal. Okay, when he says Ishmael will be a wild ass of himself. So this is where the false spirit becomes on Muhammad, but there was also a false spirit on Constantine. So now the war between Christianity and Islam that took place, that started with the Crusades, was always a sacrifice to Baal. So when they killed each other, that's what this really was. It's no different than when you see like with the Vikings, and because that's still Odin, that's still Osiris, that's still Nimrod. He always expected sacrifices to himself to say that he is God, but he required human flesh because he was a dead God. Okay, once he was killed, he became a dead God. Okay, so it was always required, and this is when the Most High talks about passing your children over to the fire of Moloch. You can do this in the spiritual and you can do this in the physical. This is the problem that people don't understand. If you worship any other gods, you are spiritually passing your children over the fire of Moloch. You could, that's why they call ignorance is bliss, because Lucifer you ignorant to this fact, because he can make it look like you're not doing it when you are. That's the masquerade. When he says he masquerades as an angel of light. So he's going to make you think you're not passing your children over to the fire of Moloch when you are. And the reason why you don't know this is because the Most High created the strong delusion for them that believe the lies. So the whole concept of the matrix is not Lucifer. The matrix comes from the Most High, because he says, I shall send thee a strong delusion for them that believe the lie. That's why only he can take you out of the matrix. And they know it. So to leave the strong delusion requires the Most High, the real Most High. Lucifer cannot take you out of the strong delusion. Only the Most High can. That's why he said, when it comes to getting salvation, it is his kingdom that saves you. Okay? Not the hypocritical kingdom that saves you. So now, when it talks about the blind who lead the blind into the ditch, what that means is those who are serving the hypocritical kingdom are leading those who are blinded by the hypocritical kingdom. You are going automatically to Abaddon. But then when you lean, when you're wise in your own eyes, when you're puffed up with knowledge, when you lean on your own understanding, and when you don't hear the law, then your prayer is an abomination. Then your prayer is going to the abomination. Okay? And this is why when the Most High going to lift the veil, because Lucifer is doing the same thing like what he did to Adama and Mama Ava when they kept messing up, and they're like, show me this adversary that's messing with us. And the Most High had to make Lucifer show himself. Okay? So now we're coming to this in these times. People are going to see who the devil really is out of all of his masks that he wears, his different faces. Okay? Because he can wear any face, which is why when people talk about this thing about this soul satanic ritual that they talk about with I can't call the name, that something face, where you saw the fire, like they showed it in Tom Hanks, that on the soccer ball. I can't call the name of it. Some of y'all probably shouting at me because you've heard of it, but I'm drawing a blank right now. But this is where, when they were talking about this whole thing, when they were doing the investigation to people, they were talking about people getting their faces cut off. Okay, and this goes back to that whole movie where the serial killer was taking the skin off of the young girls and then he was wearing it. This is the wicked side of Cain, who wears many faces. And then there's the law enforcement that caught him. His name was Wild Bill. It was the movie Silence of the Lambs. Okay, so they were showing you the FBI is, and this man who's doing this stuff. This is the good cop, bad cop masquerade of the hypocrisy of the false priests. So this is what you're going to notice, is this is what they've been doing, and this is what the Messiah was speaking about, because that's how they were acting in the kingdom when he showed up there. He said, you're acting like you're actually doing righteous when you're doing wicked. So it resembled something of where looked like they were helping us, but at the same time, they were cursing you at the same time. And this is what we're going to find out is nobody that has taken an oath to the hypocrite can save you. Not one of them. Okay? So this is why Tata nZambi has said, you don't see these images that Lucifer, he showed. It's like the magician. He made what you should be paying attention to disappear, and then you're focusing on what he's showing you as bad, but you don't see the evil within. You don't see the images of wickedness around you because you have been made to not see it in the trance. Okay? So to go into 2 Thessalonians, it says, now this is why Lord Jesus Christ, and this we have a hard time with many elders that don't understand there was no J. You go back, I'll even prove it to you. Okay? If you go back to a 1611 King James Bible, all right, this is what people don't understand. I'm going to pull it up. There is no J, not one J, okay, in this Bible. Everything, I'll take you to, out of it, I'm going to take you to Matthew. Okay? Now, we'll take you to, see, I'm going to show you, even David is spelled with a U. Okay? Okay, here you go. Now, the birth of IESUS Christ was on this wise. So you see, and then his father was then, as his mother Mary, his spouse to IOSEPH. Okay? There is no J in the name of Joseph, of Joseph. So when they created this whole thing about vowels, because technically we did not have a vowel, we had vowel sounds, not vowels themselves. So it's like, that's where you get I-A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. Why is Y in there? Because Y is a vowel sound, Yisu. So we pronounced it Yisu, but it was spelled with a Y. So now you have to, and this is what I keep trying to explain to people. This is what I was frustrated about growing up. I said, if the Jewish people are calling him Yeshua, then why are we calling him Jesus? If that was the name that they called him by. Now I learned we did not say the H, we said Yeshua, that the H actually comes from Osiris, which is what was worshipped by the Phoenicians and the Edomites. The Edomites worship Osiris. They got the Horus, Heru, and the Greeks, because the name was Heru, and the Greeks turned it into Horus. Okay? Now they just spell it H-O-R-S-E and not H and not H-O-R-U-S. They switched it. So we call the horse the Umpanda, which is now you see panda bear. That's why people will find out the truth. A panda bear is an unclean creature, as you will soon find out, because many animals are not made by the Most High. That's why the scripture specifically said there are clean animals and there are unclean animals. The unclean animals are manifested through Lucifer. Okay? The lion is the Most High's cat. Where the rest of these things come from? Now, in the leopard, where the rest of these things come from? The house cat is not made by the Most High, people. You're going to find this out. Okay? Now, the dog was made by the Most High, but the dog can be either good or evil because of what happened with Cain. So he'll go, that's why they'll say a dog will go to whomever he will feed him. So he's loyal to whomever loves him, okay? Because that's why they don't like, they said, that's why don't, but so in the case of the Most High's kingdom, when Benyamin was given the symbol of the wolf, okay, this was to be symbolic that you are now the good side of bingo. When you are the Cujo side, which you see the wolf acting like, okay, which is the spirit that falls upon dogs that turn into viciousness, okay, that is the devil dog. When they go into defense mode, the attack mode, okay? So that's where you get guard dogs. But the Most High's kingdom controls the guard dog. You know, you kind of saw this with people who have a good relationship and rapport with certain animals, is because they have what they call kindred spirits. And you're going to learn this very soon, is that kindred spirits are very much a part of how you associate with the animal kingdom, because you can resemble, okay? Now, in the Most High's creation, the Most High himself, the Most High controls all animals, good or bad. This is why I try to explain to people your spiritual ties to Lucifer will determine whether or not you manipulate animals and trance them, or you use them. Okay? So this is the concept that many see. People don't understand. We, the benefit to be solely, we taught the people how to use the animal for your benefit and not dominate it like what Cain does. Okay? The issue is now the concept is when the Most High said he put his spirit on all flesh, that means those who have a kindred spirit to the real creator will be able to have a positive interaction with the animals too. Those who are in rebellion to the Most High are now required to use force to subject animals. This is the whole concept of where the rodeo stuff comes from, and the circus and all these other things you see when they talk about breaking, because breaking is the concept of force. Okay? And then to make it more wicked is when you're resembling the animals that use homosexual acts to subdue a dominant versus male versus a submissive male. And this is where the eunuch stuff would begin to come in, is because many people knew that the demon of lust, that when they did not want any authorized breeding with the women of their, like, see, many kings had harems and they had multiple wives, and they didn't want any unauthorized breeding. This is where castration became significant, that was tied to cattle. Okay? So like, or horses. So if you didn't want a horse to breed with certain mares, you clipped them. Okay? If you didn't want a bull to build with certain animals, you clipped them. Okay? This was that concept that started with Lucifer. No unauthorized breeding. Okay? The Most High is saying, when you walk in the spirit of the Most High, in spirit and in truth, you don't need to be clipped, because self-control is part of your programming with the Holy Spirit. So when do we struggle with self-control is when you either condition to be double-minded, which is what they have actually done to us, or you chose to be double-minded. So double-mindedness does not allow you to control impulse. But here's where these wonderful people, yeah, have created a world where impulse control can be manipulated. And we're going to talk about that. So, all right. So, in the concept of when we say Ingipity or Egypt or Babylon, the concept is a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways, means a person who is from the kingdom of hypocrisy, or a person who is been taught to be in the kingdom of hypocrisy. So it's like this. Your parents try to tell you to behave, but they have taught you to misbehave, whether they know it or not. Okay? So it's like, how do you, and this is why the Messiah says, train a child up the way they should go. Okay, so if you have taught your child to behave and misbehave at the same time, then how do they behave? This is the concept of the delusion and the deception of why the world is the way it is. You have taught children to misbehave while at the same time telling them to behave. So you have created a conflict of interest by itself. And the way you do that is you mix the pagan and non-pagan together. So now you automatically raise goats and not sheep. Even though sheep can get, sheep get, how sheep are, but the goats don't. That's why goats just do whatever they want. You see, my grandfather raised them. They end up in the tree. Hello, what are you doing up there? You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a tree full of goats? They just do whatever they want, and they eat whatever they want. And this is what religion is. Religion is, I know I have rules, but I choose how I want to follow them. Okay? Now we would beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Mfumu Yesu Christu, Akongo, and by the gathering together unto him. Now, here's where people continue to be played by the wealthy elites who have brainwashed you. He does not choose everybody. No. Just because you say, well, I received Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, that doesn't mean he received you. Big difference. Because he only picks certain people. So this is where people are getting stolen of their own livelihood for nothing. Because it's like, you don't find him, he finds you. So this is where you're getting shepherds that are tricking you to go to the house of Esau and not to the house of the Most High. And they know it. Okay? That ye may not be soon shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit. That's why I told people, now is not the time to panic. Now is not the time to be troubled if you are now realizing the difference between the kingdom that is real versus the kingdom that is pretending to be real. Nor by word, nor by letter, but the day of the Mfumu Yesu is at hand. And even Toko, the one who came to fix what Rome did, that they covered it up, show people that this is exactly why we don't care what they do to us. Because we have given the spirit of truth. There's nothing they can do to us that can stop us from doing our job. So that's why it's more important that the body is sound and not the building you go inside of. If the body is not sound, then you have no business being in any building, even though the building technically doesn't represent anything. This is the delusion. You are the temple. The Messiah his body is the temple. This is why when you're attached to the one who's not a hypocrite, you don't just do whatever you want. You do what he says. This is how the world's being deceived by the hypocrites. Okay? Let no man deceive you by any means. So how does a person deceive you? They make you think the Most High changes law, statutes, and commandments. They make you think according to your own understanding how to follow the rules. And I'm even talking about people who are part of the Hebrew Israelites, because they're not following the rules. No, they're not. They're not law keepers at all. They are the black version of our Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, and hypocrites that he was talking to, in addition to the Phoenicians that bribed our king through Jason and through the false Simon to come in as the priest and as the king. Okay? And so the reality is, of course, the thief wants to defend what he stole. Okay? So no thief, and I'm sure police officers, you have to coerce a confession, and many times that's why they call it thing, oh, you coercion. So it's like this. The Holy Spirit will cause the thief to confess. Okay? But they don't like that because they think, well, you coerced me. But the Most High says, but I control every spirit, that every tongue will confess it. See, but they said they're going to confess that Jesus Christ is Lord when the Most High did not name his son Jesus. Okay? And he wasn't speaking in English when he did it. Okay? I'll even show you in the Akongo the way you really say it. Okay? All right. Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Infumu. So this is where it says, you go back to what it says in Isaiah 14. I shall be like the Most High. So he's going to exalt himself. This is why we talk about Lucifer being the prince of the air. Okay? So where do people struggle with their ability and where they're having issues is that when your focus is on anything but the Most High, now serving the Most High becomes a chore. Meaning you're not really doing it willingly. You're doing it because people are telling you have to do it. So it's no different when you talk about people talking about learning the Most High. It's like you got to go take out the trash. This is where you make the traditions of no effect. So then people say, oh, well, then, people say, well, we willingly. It's like, no. Now the servitude of the Most High is worth nothing when you are working for ignorance. And what I mean by ignorance is you don't know what you serve. You're a servant, but who do you serve? What kingdom do you serve? Okay? This is the concept that we're going to get into about now. The whole world, many of the world are going to find out you are serving the hypocrite's interest, not the one who isn't. Okay? But then when we tell you we're stupid, that's what the days of Noah really means. Okay? Let no man deceive you, except that a falling away come first. This did not happen in the 20th century. This is the lie. This is the strong delusion. This happened in the 1400s because Rome did not count at all. Even when they had the orthodoxy, because the Orthodox Christian church and the Christian church was really formed right around the 1100s. Okay, you don't get it. Okay, the schism or whatever they want to call it. But those people were already pagans. This is why we got away from them, because you guys are bewitched by this sorcerer guy. You're killing us and you don't even know what you're doing. The same thing when the Muslims went mad and they went crazy. It's like, what are y'all doing? They did go mad and they went crazy. Yes, they did. Look at them. And see, Christians, this is why you think violence is now the answer to peace, when it's not that way. That's why you have no peace, because the Most High did that. You're going to think violence is the answer to peace when that's not the way. The angels help become the answer to peace because they can bring destruction themselves upon Lucifer's kingdom. So that's when the world doesn't understand. We didn't have to just fight by ourselves with weapons. The angels fought with us. And there's nothing that they can defeat them in the kingdom of Lucifer. So now you're under the Most High strong delusion where you think that the sword by itself, claiming the Most High is with you, and then you're getting killed when none of his people got killed. It's a lie. It's a deception. That's why when you talk about what's going on in Israel, if the Most High was with those people, they wouldn't die. It's a lie. Okay? Because they become invincible. That's the way it works. The Most High Spirit you do not die. Okay? All right. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and you know what withholded that he might be revealed in his time. So now I had this story. I'm listening to it where they said Russia was the restrainer against the Catholic Church. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. People are so blind. The restrainer is the Congo spirit, the Bakongo, the Mukongo spirit, the angry gorilla, okay? The one they don't like because he is the restrainer. They want to be let loose and do whatever they want. This is why they're getting excited now, because they're like, yay, we're going to be done with the restrainer. But that's not a good thing. That's going to be a bad thing for you. Hello? Okay? For the mystery of iniquity does work. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. So when Saul is prophesying over 1,500 years ago, he says the iniquity is already working. So you are convinced that all of this stuff that they're telling you is happening now, it's like, no, iniquity was already deceiving you since the Messiah was here. Okay? That's why he says there are many messiahs, but only the ones who walk in the true power can defeat the enemy. Okay? This is why people think they're defeating Satan and he's laughing at you. Okay? And then shall that wicked be revealed. Okay, this has happened already. And people say, you'll see Protestants say, oh, it's the Pope. I'm like, no, it's both of you. Because Christianity, as the Protestant, did not undo what they're calling the Pope to. It's like you are calling the pot to call the kettle black because Christians live off of violence in the Protestant church, the same way that the Catholics did. It's only now that you're acting like it's justified. No, it is not. Oh, because we worship the God of truth, we can go kill people. No. This is the deception. Okay? Muslims the same way. Oh, because we worship the God of truth, we can go kill people. No, it's a lie. And of course, in Judaism, it's their same way. Because we are the chosen people, we can go kill people. And I said, that's where you're under a strong delusion. Okay? For him who's coming after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. That's why you don't see this fake world. You go to school and you go to church and they teach you stuff that's not true. But because they tell you, no, I know my teacher didn't lie to me. They may not know they are lying, or they may know that they are lying. Depends on who they are. I know teachers are lying to you because I witnessed it. I was a part of it. I know churches are lying to you because I saw it. I witnessed it. I know the government is lying to people because I know they're lying to people. They have said so. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. You cannot be saved by the hypocritical Messiah. So then you don't have the truth in you. No. If you are not chosen, then you have the hypocrite kingdom in you. And that kingdom wants to always impede the people who are. This is the concept when he says the wheat, where did these tares come from and what are they doing to the wheat? Let them grow together. So that means the evil and the righteous are growing together until the harvest. And the evil ones are always working for the hypocrite. And then those who are blinded by them, you are now sowing tares. So then that's why you now have to go to school and church to learn. When this is a fallacy. Okay? It's all bogus. They're scamming people and they're making billions and billions and billions of dollars robbing the temple because you believe in the liar. So they're using you as an idiot, as a punching bag, a spaghetti on a string with no brain. Okay? Like a doll, like a straw man. Unintelligent, no clue. So then they think that you're not capable of taking care of yourself when they can't even take care of themselves. They are nothing but children themselves, but they're children of an imposter. So this is why the people who are standing up there acting like, and you sit there and you believe their crap that we serve our God. Do you even know that that God is not the God who's not a hypocrite? Baloney. I sat there and I said, oh my gosh. When they were interviewing the woman, Tulsi Gabbard, and she had on the white suit, I said, she mocking Simon Toko. Because we wear the white in front of our people. When we wore white in front of the Most High, but if you're serving the kingdom of the hypocrisy, you're now the white sacrifice of the hangman. Or what do you call it? You are now being sacrificed to the Kraken. Like they did in the Greeks. You're now being used as a sacrifice, as a mockery. That's what she was. And see, that's why they're covering this whole concept about being inverted. With the concept that the firstborn is inverted. Okay? All right? And with all deceitfulness and unrighteousness in them that perish. So, when you perish, you go to the gods of Egypt, the Hamitic gods. You don't go to the Most High Kingdom. You go to the Canaanite gods. Oh, no, see, don't listen to that guy, la, 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 because I'm starving them. This is the concept. Bingo don't want to be starved. Oh, no, you're going to take away my food. So don't listen to this guy. The dog god don't want to starve. So, oh, no, don't do that. Don't give them, don't listen to this guy. Then we starving out here. The false gods want you to listen to stupidity or they starve. Because the Most High did not build the prisons for those who are supposed to be honoring the kingdom of, that's not hypocrisy, but for the kingdom of hypocrisy. So now, for generations, no matter what color they are, okay, the hypocritical gods are going to tell you that those of us who are trying to keep them from being starved are liars, hypocrites, deceivers. This is what the sorcerer was doing. Okay? But now, when the Most High cuts this off, they will not be able to use when they said the harvest comes, this will be the unveiling because they will lose access to the wheat's ability to be used, to where now the harvest is ripe. Boom. We're going to get rid of the people who are causing problems versus the people who are, and this is how they got it all backwards. They're thinking that they're going to win. And the Most High is like, again, I shall send thee a strong delusion. If you think that Lucifer going to win the eternal war, you fool yourself. He lost already. But you're not going to have the hypocritical Messiah. The Messiah is not taking any hypocrites to himself. Okay? For this cause, God, which people don't know, God is actually dog backwards, because we did not call him God. But that's, again, the strong delusion. But I'm using the name God because we taught nZambi, you know, and then you got these people talking about all these names that were created, Yahweh. And I said, look, the Canaanites know we called him Yave Kongo. They just took the name Kongo and slashed it off. We called him Kongo. We call him nZambi, Soninanini. That's why I said many of these agents don't tell you. We know Kongo is the center, but if you are not the bloodline, you must come through the people who are. So this is where a lot of people are getting themselves deceived, that they, in fact, are still Gentiles if your father is not Mukongo. Baloney. This is the bloodline they're trying to delete. You must come through the Mukongo bloodline to get to the Father. This is what the Messiah meant. So then the way the Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, and hypocrites created the problem is they made you go through the spirit of Esau and trickery. Okay? So the Mukongo have to be on top of all the nations. The Banabeti Visole Mukongo, this is the way how you get into the city of David, and they're lying to you because they have still tricked you with King Herod's delusion playing both sides. And then if you are from their bloodline, this is when they're going to give you static for helping Jacob. But if you're not from their bloodline, all they're going to do is say, this guy's crazy. He's stupid. He don't know what he's talking about. Or they said, nah, stay away from this guy because we know this is the problem. And this is the intimidation factor. Okay? No, this guy, Looney Tune, Lulu, when the people that are telling you this are they themselves needing to steal and rob, so they're going to continue to be controlled opposition and play both sides. And then when they're planning things, they are doing it themselves, and the Most High is not in the plan. Because when the Most High sends you to do something, he's going to lay out the plan completely for everybody. And it don't just go to one person as now, because there's many messiahs. So don't think that one person got the whole thing. Even Saul said, we do not all have it. It must be Kintwadi come together. But this is where the Judases play their part. Okay? But now the Most High says, I will get rid of the Judases. Then there won't be any more problems. And this is where we're at. Because the Judases are the Egyptian god worshippers. And this is the fallen gods tricking people that they are good when they are bad. And that's why when somebody try to tell me about the Anak, I'm like, if you believe that, I can't help you. That's bullcrap. Because Hermes was black anyway, okay? And he's tricking people. He's the Most High. Get out of here. Go somewhere with that. He is not with the Most High at all. Okay? So most Christians don't know that their Jesus Christ that they're praying to is Hermes. And they know it. Okay? And they lying to you. Not the one that so that's when you go to 2 Corinthians, if someone brings you another Jesus that we did not preach, okay, that happened 2,000 years ago. not today. That happened in the courts of King Herod with the Sanhedrin and the Romans, and they brought this guy out there, started doing tricks on people, and they thought he was him. This happened 2,000 years ago, and he was black with the real Messiah who was black too. So of course, when I'm telling you this, he's gonna say I'm a liar, because that's the way the program goes. You expose the wizard, he's gonna try to stop you. No, this guy's a trickster. He's this, he's that. He's gonna call you wicked. And he the one out here trying to do divination and stuff like that. That's why you got people who are tired. That's why you got people who are sick. That's why you got people who are messed up in the head. But then he's gonna give you the remedy. But his remedies don't fix the problem. They just pass it. Okay? You don't get rid of nothing. All right? For this, and that they might be damned who believe not the truth. So here's the way it works. If you continue to think that you're not following the hypocrite, you have automatically damned yourself. So you're not going to the kingdom. You're not receiving it. Okay? But if you believe in the kingdom that is not the hypocrite, this is when you're going to be brought out of the liar. Okay? So now, when they said, but you have pleasure in unrighteousness, this is why you can say pagan god names all day long and don't think you're saying anything against the Father and spitting in his face and talking blasphemy. So then when you go to the other side, you're looking for I don't know who you're talking to. You go Jupiter, go to Zeus. That's your God. This is what's going to shock people. And we're trying to explain this. The Holy Spirit is not a hypocrite. Okay? The Holy Spirit did not change anything. But see, because these dead gods don't want to starve, they're going to tell you I'm a liar. Go right ahead. As I said, you keep feeding them and then keep trying to force me to keep feeding them. This is when the Most High going to be dealing with some stuff like, okay, this is what the Messiah meant when he said, you pull my servants to these false gods, I'm going to deal with it. And now he's going to deal with it. And this is what's happening now. And people are finding out, airplanes and fires and oh my gosh. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You sowed the tares, you reap them. There you go. It has to happen like this. Oh, what's going on in the Congo and this and this and that. If you reap hypocrisy, if you sow hypocrisy, you must now reap it. Okay? If you teach people to worship a hypocritical Messiah, you must now reap it. Hello? The Most High's word does not come back void. So now, everybody who is a Pharisee, Sadducee, scribe, and hypocrite teaching the children to break the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments must now reap what they sow. So that's all of the secret societies. Okay? You taught, this is what the Messiah said. You teach the children to break the Father's law. It is better for the millstone to be cast around your neck and thrown into the sea. So we told you. You want to believe the stupid pirate? Now the pirate coming to collect. Okay, hello? Okay? The pirate god now coming to collect. And he out there still playing games. I'm like, oh, man. He knows Osiris is now killing people. Hello? Yeah. Sorry. You're going down. Okay? You are now going to the executioner again. So he's the one bringing, I don't tell you, whoo, y'all don't get it. Okay? But we are bound to give thanks always to the Mfumu. You don't give, see, you have been conditioned to give thanks to the hypocrite, not to the one who isn't the hypocrite. So guess what? Now you got to pay for it. Brethren, beloved of the Mfumu, because God has from beginning chosen your salvation. See, the Father has chosen you for salvation. Again, what does it say? The Most High chooses, you don't get to choose, He does. And no man can tell you you're chosen. No one can tell you that. This is why the jealousy will always be, so those who are chosen will always be hated by those who are not. Or those who are not chosen will continue to teach you lies and hypocrisy. And this is where the Most High going to expose these people to their folly. Yo, you are not leading the children to the good shepherd. You're leading him to the imposter. Like in the days of Noah. Because this is what happened. Whereunto you he called you out by our gospel. The gospel of truth is not hypocrisy. So you cannot preach the gospel of Jesus Christ if you're talking to the hypocrite. Baloney. You are worshiping a false God and you're teaching a false doctrine. Now you have to reap it. You sow tares, now you got to reap the tares. You sow wheat, now you get to sow the wheat. Okay? Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions that you have been taught, whether by word or epistle. So what traditions are those? Those are the traditions that do not contradict the Father. Not the traditions that make the law of no effect. So now all of these people out here have been doing all of these traditions and they're doing it in the name of Osiris and they don't get it. And now Osiris coming to collect. The Grim Reaper coming to collect. Okay? Now our Mfumu Yeswe himself and the nZambi, even our Father, you cannot say our Father if you are not chosen. No. Then when you keep saying our Father, you're talking to Lucifer. I don't want to believe that. I can prove it. Because the Most High does not dwell inside of temples. He's in the nature. The Most High does not change himself. He says, I don't change. Okay? So if you people telling you the Most High changed, that person works for the idiot. Comfort your hearts and establish you in every good work, word and work. You cannot do good work if you are working for the hypocrite. It don't matter what you think. That's where pride starts to play its role. Pride will make you think you're working for the God of truth when you're working for the hypocrite. And now this is where we're going to find out you people are working for the jackass, because that's what pride does. When you're puffed up with knowledge, when you think you know everything, when you have that, when you feel that you're wise in your own eyes, you become Lucifer. So humility is the real Father. Love, humility, understanding, compassion, okay? But not thinking that you are doing it right in your own eyes. It must be in the Father's eyes. Which Father? The non-hypocritical Father. And that's why now the world is so blind, they don't see that they're swimming in dog vomit. They're swimming in it. They're swimming in pig guts and feces. They're swimming in animal feces, thinking that they're clean when they are dirty. They did not clean the inside but the outside. So now this is where you're talking about people with parasites and illnesses and all these other things that they're talking about and dealing with anxiety and frustration and dealing with all kinds of I'm tired and they need energy and all this stuff. This is because you're being robbed of your energy. Okay? So now you're feeding into the imposter who is stealing your energy versus getting energy from the one who doesn't need to steal for nobody. And so now I become the bad guy because I make you think, McFly, think. Okay? I become the jackass because I telling you, be not of your own understanding and don't just think for yourself, think for them, think for yourself. Your brain has been turned over to the hypocrite. But he's going to keep telling you, nah, see, that don't work because Cain knows who you are. Lucifer knows the difference between those who belong to the Most High and those that don't. And the way you're going to be able to see it now is going to be so amazing that you're going to find out who's who out here. It's going to shock you to find out whether you made the cut, the true cut, or not. That's what they're talking about. That's where really this whole concept of cream of the crop really comes from, is the mockery of the Most High Scriptures. When they're going to say, we take the best of the best, the cream of the crop is an opposite to what the Most High put, okay? Because this is what they're using that for exploitation, they're not using it to better the world. They're using it to take advantage of the world. Reverse, okay? Because the best of the Most High changes the world for the better, that everybody benefits, not just a few. And this is how you've been played. This is what he says. My world means everybody benefits. Lucifer world meant only a few benefit. Everybody else get the hand-me-downs, the leftovers. Okay, and this is the delusion. So now I'm going to take you to a book called The Authoritative Teachings. It's kind of, the whole original's coming out. I know it will. But he's talking about wisdom, and I can tell that that's what's missing. Okay? The authority, it says, wisdom from the spirit. So remember, wisdom is usually referred to in the feminine, because this is the feminine side of the Most High. This is why Ngoma, this is what, and I thank the brother who taught us that Ngoma and the Congo is where that word comes from, wisdom. Okay? So wisdom of the Most High will expose lack of wisdom of the carnal mind. And this is where the world is transitioning to, is the Most High is getting rid of the ignorant that are wise in their own eyes and going to transition it to those who are not wise in their own eyes, but in his eyes. Okay? So Ngoma from the spiritual realm of nZambi, okay, I know that's what it was missing. Through him, nZambi and Pungu, everyone is manifest of the goal or the power. I know I would tell us what is missing. Everyone is manifest his power. The shrouded realms, okay, are manifest prior to the manifestation of the unseen mysterious universe, meaning that everything manifests in the spirit before it manifests in the physical. Okay, this is where the scripture that says what you loose and what you bind. Okay? If you loose it in the spirit first, if you think it first, it's going to go and manifest wherever. That's why the Messiah was always about your thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts can betray you or they can make you whole. And this is where these people are using the manipulative ability to use hypnosis and whatever they want to use. This is why they had to weaken people in order to keep them doing the things that put them in dog vomit. Okay? The imperceivable soul of virtue was manifest from these. Okay? So the Most High has his 7 spirits. That's one. They are all manifest that they are beautiful, righteous. Okay? The spirit of community. So the problem is you have been conditioned to accept a hypocritical community that should be working together when that's not possible. You have to be a non-hypocritical community in order to manifest power. This is where the enemy works his magic. By convincing you your community is going to have its problems and this and that, we must still work together. This is the lie. Hypocrites cannot be with non-hypocrites. This is what the Most High is talking about when he says, be ye not equally yoked with an unbeliever. You cannot be yoked equally with a hypocrite. The hypocrite must want to stop being a hypocrite in order, and this is the concept. There are those who will never stop being a hypocrite versus those who will. Okay? And this is where Lucifer has deceived the whole world. He is trying to keep people saying hypocrites and non-hypocrites can coexist together. No, they cannot. This is the problem. So you must love people who embrace Lucifer as their God. No, you have to rebuke them and allow them to understand, I will love no false spirit. I will only love the spirit that is not false. But the point is to show you, if you want to be with our Father, you must reject the false spirit that these people are putting on you. Okay? And yeah, they ain't going to like it. Because the goal that we're putting out here is that the Most High's chosen people must come away from a false spirit. And if you want to be with them, then you must also do the same. But that's where the enemy plays his cards and his lies. Nope, this is a false shepherd. I gave you shepherds that's teaching you the truth. No, he did not. This is when it says the devil has preachers that manifest in him, because you're going to have preachers and people that say, I work for the God that isn't the hypocrite. Not always. The Most High can use anybody, even a donkey, okay? But that doesn't mean you're chosen, okay? The chosen ones will not do anything that will cause the sheep to do anything against the Father's kingdom. This is why the Messiah will tell people to go down, the head of the temple will tell you to go down lower. Okay? So whether fallen or within the spiritual realm, she is neither separated from them, yet they see her and she sees them through the unseen teachings. So now what we're saying is there's teachings that you will not see but will manifest in you if you are in the truth. So then our Mfumu, the Lord, provided the teachings to her. So now wisdom, Ngoma, has to teach you, because the Most High gives Ngoma the secrets, okay? So then that way you cannot, if you're not wise in your own eyes, now the Most High will manifest. And people will see the difference between someone who now operates out of humility and not pride. that operates out of truth and not half-truths, and operates in the love of the Father versus the love of the hypocrite. Big difference. Okay? As one, we feed the mouth with food. Okay, so as one would feed the mouth with food, this is where many people lose the kingdom with the Father. Many people. You're going to see this because you're feeding poison to the sheep. And this is where they're laughing at you when they're the rich people, because they know it. They're giving you knowledge that is poison to the sheep. And so now those who are chosen are the ones that will spit it back up. And this is what we're doing now. Many people who are regurgitating this poison are saying, pow, this wasn't ours. We're spitting it up. Okay? This has nothing to do with us. If you believe this stuff that they've been feeding down your throat is poison, now you're going to you're going to go with the poisonous God. So instead of looking like what Masa did with the snakes, where you look to the snake to get healed, you're with the one who's poisoning you, acting like he's healing you when he's not. Okay? He applied it to our eyes to help her see with her mind. So this is how it works. This is what the word Maya Mona means. One who can see. This is what it means when you said you have spiritual eyes. So now what the Holy Spirit sees, you will see. And this is how you know the difference between those who manifest in the true spiritual realm of the Father and those who have turned their heart away from the Most High, whose back is turned, and now these false gods will now become your gods. This is what happened to Solomon. This is why people were like, hey, who's talking to us? This don't seem right. And this is why Madonna, Dan left. They're like, hey, you're poisoning us, dude. Okay? So this is the concept what I try to explain to people. Your house cannot be in order if you're taking in too much poison. So now that poison will make you blind in the spiritual realm. This is what the Messiah meant when he says, when you take in darkness, how great is the darkness? And what he's talking about is the hypocrites. Okay? If you take in the non-hypocrite, how great is that light? Now you will really shine. This is the way the world really works. Okay? They hate the one that brings non-hypocrisy, and they love the people who are hypocrites, and they let you be. Okay? This is really what it is. Like a medicine, he applied it to our eyes to help save with her mind. So this is where healing starts. For those who have been teaching and those who understand it, you can only heal for real with the non-hypocritical spirit. You cannot heal for real with the non-hypocritical spirit. It's a fallacy because you're always exchanging one for the other. So even though you think you got better, you pass the demon to your child. You pass the demon to your relatives. It just goes somewhere else. So you may have gotten better, but now you're in a contract with the spirit that you did it with. And this is where people have become religataire, bound to a hypocrite. So then you do not have salvation. You do not have truth. You have half-truth. And this is why the world is now where it is. This is why your children are the way they are. because you believe in the jackass and not the one who wrote in on the jackass. And this is how they tricked you. Okay? This allowed her to perceive her community and her heritage, so that me right remain that the branch from which she was manifest, in order to receive her inheritance and denounce materialism. Whoa! Why do you think they don't want you to know this when they got people like Madonna singing, well, we are living in a material world and I'm a material girl? They need you to desire the things that come from the hypocrites and reject the things that come from the God who is not the hypocrite. This is significant to why they made to the traditions, so that you wouldn't even know that you have embraced the materialistic God and reject the one who does not want materialism to be embraced. So you're doing it backwards of what the Messiah preaches. He said, lay not your treasures here on earth, but in the kingdom. But that's not what you're doing with religion. You're laying your treasures here on earth and not in the kingdom. So then when you go to the kingdom, there's nothing for you. What are you talking about? All your treasures are down there on earth. I don't have nothing for you. The song he's listening to, I ain't got nothing for you, man. You better go bounce somewhere else. All your treasures are over there with the other gods. You better go bounce up out of here. I don't know you. Okay? The wisdom of the Most High in true spirit and in truth is where the inheritance comes from. And this is what they are robbing when he says you rob me in this whole nation, is they want you to be like the one who robs, wink, but pretend like you're not. So then now, when you don't want to be like the one who robs, they want to disqualify you because they don't want you to show other people you are being played. Because you are. Because not only are they robbing you, they're robbing the Most High and they're lying about it. This is the way the world is today, that people don't understand. You're believing the people who are robbing the Most High and not the people who are. That's what the days of Noah means. The days of Noah means you're believing the person, the one who's robbing the Most High, and not the one who's robbing him. And then that makes you an idiot. That makes you that makes you stupid. That makes you a dummy. You need to go get your head checked. You need to go seek physical. You need to go seek help. Why? Because you're conditioned to love the God who hates the Most High when he's lying about it. So the knowledge you're receiving is the hypocritical knowledge, not the knowledge that is non-hypocritical. And that's where Hosea 4 and 6 operates. Because it ain't about faith, because you can have blind faith. You don't get it. You can have blind faith through ignorance without knowledge. And that's why Toko was so dangerous to the establishment, because he was showing people you can be ignorant and have faith. But without knowledge, you now perish. And do not let your knowledge puff you up, because then you will also be told to go lower. All right? I can try to fill this. The man is saying the missing text is basically what's missing is saying that the dedicated followers will always be on one accord in the same spirit and dwell together. Okay, these followers, those who were truly born from him, shall call the Tusari or the Fumu their companions. So it's like this. You're going to have a different family than the one that you were born into when it comes to this now new time and seasons. For those who do not understand, you are an Egyptian. So it's like this. If you don't believe that you're worshiping Egyptian gods, then now that will be your family. And you don't want to go there. Believe you on this. Okay? If you want to believe, it doesn't matter if the person is black, white, Hispanic, Native American. It doesn't matter. If they are practicing African spirituality, I told people, Christianity comes from Egypt. Okay? The Most High is not a Kemetist. So if you're going to still believe this garbage of these Kemetists that they're working for the Most High and they're not, okay? They keep playing games with you. Oh, Egypt, America was this, Africa was this. Oh, no, because they don't want Jake. See, the problem is on their watch, the real people must not enter the source to expose the liars and to show who's really the kings and queens. Because then you will show people who's who out here. Because like I said, the Most High gives its inheritance to his own. He does not make them pay for what is his if he already gives it to you. And you do not learn the behaviors of those who are deceived in the spirit to think the same way. You cannot be like Samuel's children. You must be like Samuel, okay, removing the obstacle, not putting the obstacle there. And you cannot decide for the Most High who's his and who isn't. No one can. I can't even, do that. All right? Thus, the physical body manifests through lust, and lust manifests from materialism. That's why you're now seeing all of these leaders in Africa, all of these leaders in Asia, they're talking about trade. They're talking about, factories and all these things that you build. It's like the Most High is like, it means nothing to me. Okay? Because that's not what's important. The heart of the person is more important than the materialism you make with it. So it's not about what you make with your hands. It's about what is in your heart and in your mind first. And then these things will come to pass. And this is where the world is being misled by this whole thing about trade. Because the whole thing about trade comes from Lucifer. He's doing it, you're doing it backwards. All right? Thus the physical body manifests through lust, and it is for this reason that the soul became their companion. So now, when you operate under the materialistic system, then your soul belongs to that system. You're not the Most High's. Because the Most High is not about materialism at all. Not one bit. All right? But they are outcasts, having no authority coming from the Creator. This is the way it is. You do not have authority from the Creator if you operate with the materialistic God. None. Their inheritance comes only from their mother And that is the divine feminine that they're lying to you about. Lily cannot give you the inheritance of the Creator. No. And you cannot decide whether you got it or not, because the Most High going to show you, my inheritance is the king. If the kingdom is given to you, then what are you paying for? What are you buying? How can you buy the Most High's heaven, the Most High's kingdom? How do you buy it? If he is giving it to you, if the kingdom is given to you here, then what are you paying for? This is where Lucifer can deceive the whole world and anyone who preaches or teaches that you can buy the Most High's kingdom. No, you cannot. No one can. That's where the sorcerer is tricking people. And that's where the sorcerer himself is deceiving himself. Okay? No one can buy the Most High's kingdom. He has to either give it to you or not give it to you. It doesn't work like that. And this is where you get cut off, like Solomon. Solomon got tricked like this. Saul got tricked like this. All of these kings, let me read the story, okay? This is the true understanding. A prophet of Rehoboam prevents Rehoboam from war with Jeroboam. And Jeroboam, as I understand it, was not the same bloodline. Okay? But the word of nZambi came to Samia from the man of God. This is the book that people are missing. Saying, speak to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, the king of Judah, and all those in the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, thus says the Infumu, you shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Isolele. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Infumu, and return to depart according to the word of the Infumu. Okay. How does Lucifer divide a house? Fighting amongst the Most High's children. Lucifer's house is already fighting, but Lucifer cannot cast out Lucifer. Okay? But the word of the Infumu came to Smith, the man of Infumu, saying, speak, the son of Solomon, the king of Judah, and to all of Israel. Israel is really Esau and Judah, and Benjamin saying, thus says the Infumu, ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren. Return, thus for this thing is done of me. And they obeyed the words of the Infumu and returned, going against Jeroboam. Okay? Prophecies of the punishment of Jeroboam. Then came Shemiah, the prophet of Jeroboam, and the princes of Judah that were gathered Kosana together to Solomon because of Shishak, and said unto them, thus says Infumu, you have forsaken me, and therefore I have also left you in the hand of Shishak. 2 Chronicles 12 talks about this. And Infumu said that they humbled themselves, the word of the Infumu. So that's why many people have been taught Chronicles incorrectly when it says, if my people who are called by my name, his name is not Christian, his name is not Israel, his name is not Islam, his name is not Judaism, his name is no religion, and his name is not God. Okay? He has a name that is tied to his people and his people alone. And the way Lucifer does it is you have pride, not humility in your heart. This is the dividing factor from losing the kingdom versus having it. When you are puffed up with pride, meaning that you have knowledge puffed up, you lean on your own understanding, you're wise in your own eyes, the Father is going to spit you out. The Messiah is going to spit you out. The kingdom will not see you in the same light as before, because you will be told to go lower. This is the concept that the devil works on when he talks about this system, and this is why the demonic spirits are now blinding the fact that America is a satanic nation. But it's not just America. Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Angola, South Africa, Botswana, Tanzania, Egypt, France, England, Germany, Russia, okay, Australia, and all these other countries. This is the problem. When you are leaning on the own understanding, or you're listening to false priests, okay, you are automatically in the kingdom of darkness with no light, not manifesting the power. And that's why now, when the Most High going to embarrass these people, you will be astounded on how stupid you really are in your own understanding that you think. So then, of course, everybody who does not understand this will hate the people that are explaining it, that everything starts with your heart. If you have a heart like the Most High, he will not spit you out, but he will mold you into what he the love. Okay? This is why people cannot control their children. This is why people are dealing with politicians that are being fraudulent. This is why you're dealing with rulers out here that are not being spoken through their words of truth. Okay? Everything starts with what kingdom you serve. Okay? You serve the hypocritical kingdom, or you serve the non-hypocritical kingdom. All depends on what you do with your position. Okay? No one with the oath to the imposter can receive the kingdom of non-hypocrisy. That kingdom can use you, but you're not receiving it. Okay? And that there's a big difference. And this is why when you are in the religion of the non-hypocritical kingdom, that's why they want to fight against you when you help anybody in the non-hypocritical kingdom. This is the battle between Babylon, Rome mentality versus the Most High's kingdom. So this is where they get mad. It's like, no, you really work for us. What are you doing? You really come from our kingdom. Why are you helping them? So then that is worthy of death in their eyes. This is worthy of your destruction. This is worthy of killing you, if this is how you're going to play the game. Okay? And they want to destroy those of us who are meant and called and chosen, who are here to bring the children back, or bring the real kingdom on this earth that is not the hypocrite, because it exposes the fact that they are not the bloodline. No matter what you believe, Christian, Muslim, Judaism, whatever, you cannot receive the bloodline inheritance through the hypocrite. Okay? That's why many people don't understand why marriages fall apart, why households don't have issues, why things don't go your way. You always want to blame that automatically it's got to be the enemy. No. Because you rebuke, he cannot impede because you rebuke. How can he impede you if you can rebuke? He cannot stop anything because you can rebuke it. You have the authority. If you can't rebuke it, you don't have the authority. So if it's not going away, or you're still dealing with issues of whatever spirit is manifesting, then you don't have authority. Period. So then you need to find out, why do I not have authority? This is the blockage that people don't understand. You control Lucifer. He don't control you. He don't like it, but he don't have a choice in the matter. He don't make you. This is why you can say, all right, you think you got me? No, I got you. And this is what's going to happen now that will soon be, and like I said, they don't like it when you can control them. That's when they want to get paybacks. Okay? But if they don't even know you, you're not chosen, you're not from the Most High's kingdom, this is when they're going to wreak havoc on your life like you can't believe. And this is going to start to really happen now when the Most High exposes what kingdom you really serve. Because out of the shadows, they will come. They will no longer be able to hide in the shadows, and now you will see who's who out here. And that's why we told people, man, woman, you better know that the indignation, just like what happened on Sodom and Gomorrah, is now going to come on this earth. Because every single city, contrary to what they have told you, is Sodom and Gomorrah. All of them. All of them are doing Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. Let me say it again. All of them are doing Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. So therefore, you do not want to be Lot's wife. You are Lot's wife, you know what happens. You want to get away from these wicked cities. We're trying to tell people this. It's time for us to separate yourself from these spiritual cities. And does it mean that the Most High might tell you to go? No, it could be very mean that your house becomes the holy place. That's what happened in the days of Egypt. He said, go into your room, shut the door. Where your habitation is will become holy, while everybody else is being demolished. It's going to be a sad day. Okay? That's why people who want to be prideful, ignorant, or do not want to listen to reason or listen to common sense anymore, because common sense has been taken from them, they will now ignore you or ignore those who speak. And that's what happened in the days of Noah. They were ignoring them. They were doing whatever they want. They were laughing at them. They were saying, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. And then next thing you know, oh man, we messed up. We dead. We gone. This is what's going to happen. Because this is the concept. You either heed the warning that you've fallen a false god or you don't. And if you don't get it, this is where we are. This now must come the indignation as in the days of Noah. And if you're on the wrong rock, you following the wrong rock of salvation, you going with him. Because the Most High is now going to devour Osiris, Cain, Esau, whatever. Because he has many names of blasphemy. If you don't recognize that the witch is lying to you, that she did exist, but you don't worship her, okay? If you're gonna sit there and say, well, that woman's not in my Bible, so I don't see her, or I disagree with you, fine. Okay? You know, and that's what we're talking about. The world is now going to find out you have now played yourself, because I already know what Donald Trump going to do, and the rest of them that's with him, because he's not alone. He got numbers out here, and they playing like they're against him when they with him. They on the same side. And if you don't line up on what side you belong on and quit straddling the fence, you're going to find out the hard way. It's King Kongo's way or it's not. It's Sonina Nini's way, it's the Most High's way, or it's no way. And it don't matter what knowledge or what truth you bring if you're still serving hypocrisy. And that's what we're talking about. All right. I'm going to put a song on. I don't own the rights to this song. It's not for my redistribution of any kind. I'm going to play the TV. Again, this is not for redistribution of any kind. Let me turn up a little bit higher because it's kind of low. And again, I'll put it in the chat. I don't own the rights to it. And like I said, this is going to be, this month is going to start this. You saw what already happened in Philadelphia. You saw what happened in Washington, D.C. You saw what happened in California. And you saw what's been going on around the world. It's only going to get worse. We're just getting started. Every day, it's going to be something every day. And it's going to be something every day, all day. I mean, every day, all year, moving forward, you're going to have something that is going to impact what people are going to be calling, like we said, your peace and safety. No hypocrite can bring peace and safety. Not one of them. No hypocrite can bring peace and safety. On nZambi, the Son of the Almighty.
nZambi, ayuda kulibenasa, mukawayuda.
Paying homage to Yuda, the tribe of Yuda, you and me. Zion means Zion. Abundance living sight. How you put those on the site, my sister has the clothing for yourself. So that should be something we can look at.
Olha a maravilha! Olha a maravilha! Olha a maravilha! Olha a maravilha! Olha a
Bahete, Kimball. So, Umbanza Kimball, Umbanza Salama, Umbanza Davidi. This city is coming. And we're going to tell you right now, that city's coming, and it's going to shock you who's running that city. All praises, Kimber, hallelujah. I'm almost done, people. Kimber, hallelujah. All praises. Motone Mamingi, Ingita.